Okay, so by now you've probably witnessed some sort of a trend in my videos, which is that a lot of my favorite children's books were recommended to us through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And though we still don't get or although we don't get those books anymore because our kids are old enough that there's a cutoff age where they no longer send them. I really would love to like keep track of, and I need to go look, keep track of what books they're sending out because they're so good. It almost makes me want to go buy those books each month on my own. The book I'm going to talk about today was definitely one of our absolute favorite ones that they sent. And for my very energetic son, this was a great book for him. And the book I'm talking about is Pretend by Jennifer Plecas or Plecas. I apologize if I mispronounced her last name. So Pretend is a great father and son story, which is really nice because a lot of times I feel like fathers are, and perhaps this is perception, but I feel like fathers are not as present as mothers are in books, which it makes sense because fathers are not as present in real life a lot of times as mothers are. But there are some great fathers out there. And since we're getting close to Father's Day, it's a great time to highlight that. So, what this story Pretend is about is essentially a little boy named Jimmy who comes up to his dad and says, "Dad, let's pretend that this couch is a big boat and that we're floating in the ocean, right?" And so then the next page is them imagining, these things that are happening and then this story just goes on and on. So it's a giant game of pretend between father and son, and each page is the next thing they pretend happens and where does the story go. And so it's a lot of imagination, which I especially love because I think that our kids are so imaginative, and as we get older, we sort of start to lose that imagination. And we become people who want to be entertained more frequently instead of us creating the entertainment. And even for my son, who's 7 now, he has this bent to want to play video games, which I'm not saying video games are bad by any means, but I want him to still have that imagination, that ability to pretend that things are happening. So I highly recommend Pretend. I don't just recommend that you read it, but I also recommend that you participate in the concept and the idea of that make believe with your own children and children that you pretend with your own parents. Be gracious, children, if your parents aren't available to do it, but encourage them to come play pretend with you. So this book is Pretend by Jennifer Plecas or Plecas, and I highly recommend that you pick it up.